very well in this game against this team. In his first game ever, had 11 points and 12 rebounds against Vandy last season.
It was the first ever meeting between the two schools. That game, of course, Connecticut was the home team last year. And again, Thornton, Breege, three. Bending short, rebounded underneath and saved that time by the Huskies.
Shimon Tools is the hustle guy on this team.
And Denham Brown gets up and in. Now he's got a new career high. The freshman from Canada. That's 8 points now for Denham Brown.
Well, he can score, John. And he's shown it in a couple of different ways. His jumper looks very, very sound fundamentally also. Good defense by Robertson right here, moving his feet.
He had 6 points and 4 points in the first two games for the Huskies. He already has 8 here in the first half tonight. On the way in, the foul called on Tony Robertson. He'll pick up his second. 7:14 to play in the half. It's 24-18. The score last year was 84-71. That was the final as Connecticut won the first ever meeting.
Well, a good thing for Connecticut right here is they go to a foreign court. And, you know, they play a lot of home games after this. And they've played
6 in a row, as a matter of fact.
Right. So going on the road is a very important thing for them to do. Obviously, they're going to play on the road in the Big East. They also have some big-time games on the road out of conference this year.
As a matter of fact, their next road game is January the 7th at Oklahoma. So that will be a big test for the Huskies.
And Oklahoma beat them last year at Connecticut.
It's 24-20. The Huskies have the lead here in Nashville. Brown off to a terrific start tonight. Stay with us. Back after this. Look at our Conagra Foods Big East standings, and these are the preseason predictions that Connecticut, for the second time in a row, will win the East, and that Pittsburgh will repeat in the West. Those two teams did meet in the championship game in Madison Square Garden last year, and it was an overtime victory for the Huskies on their way to a terrific finish to another sparkling season. Brown has it, gets it back from Gordon.
Made it to the Final Eight. The team that beat them, Maryland, won the national championship.
Gordon has not scored tonight. And he's been averaging almost 20 points a game in the first two. Okafor, turnaround, good.
That's what they need, John. I'll tell you what, this kid, we know he's a great defensive player, probably the best defensive player interior in the country. And what I'm thinking about is how good is he going to be offensively? And he's shown several different kind of ways to score tonight. Very big thing for them.
Breege for three. Comes up short. Gordon the rebound. He looks to Brown. Brown, crossover dribble, gets down along the baseline, knocked out of bounds, and the Huskies will keep it. Let's take a look at Okafor doing what you want him to do inside.
I'll tell you what, if he can make turnaround jump shots like this during the course of the season, he's going to be really, really tough to guard against. Pretty low-scoring game so far. Both teams playing solid defense. Shot clock running a long way. This is the first zone possession for Vanderbilt.
They get it down inside. Okafor, no place to go. Gordon for three. Too strong. Breege has the rebound in front of Okafor at good position on the weak side that time. Back come the Commodores. Down by 6.
Solid defense right here. Okafor and Hilton Armstrong in the game at the same time. Another block by Okafor.
Gordon has it, and he is bumped and fouled by Russell Lakey.
Emeka Okafor, when he posts and gets large in here, he can jump over people. Right here, you can see he doesn't get into his man as much as he should, but using his arms to do a good job here. Nice turnaround, soft jumper, nothing but bottom. UConn fans will be happy if this man can do a lot of that during the course of this season. Those are his numbers so far tonight.
Okafor 6'9", 252, a native of Houston, Texas. He'll get another rest as Brown is on for the second time tonight. 5.5 to play. And a steal. Bringing it back is Corey Smith and lays it home. He has 6 points. He's also from Houston, Texas.
Freshman mistake. 14,000 here. This is an unusual gym, and we talked about the benches being on the end line, but it's pretty loud in here.
Here comes Talik. Scoops it up. Does not get the roll. Thornton kicks it on the wing to Huerta. Friedgen, good catch and a great finish. Matt Friedgen gets the basket. And that gets them going here in a timeout with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half. They are on their feet at Memorial Gym. UConn's lead is down to 2.
The lob, and the Dirk Nowitzki clone lays it softly off the glass.
Boy, he made a great catch, didn't he?
He really did, and Huerta made a nice pass on this play, too. Nothing UConn could do. Right here is the play that led to it. Talik Brown drives the lane, and it just rolls off. Because Brown penetrated, nobody back. Point guards under the hoop. Nice play by Vanderbilt. Heads up.
You look at the media guide, and Friedgen is from Kansas. They list him as being from Shawnee Mission, Kansas. And technically, Bob, there's no such place as Shawnee Mission, Kansas. He's actually from Overland Park, Kansas.
Isn't that where the NCAA
used to be?
Used to be.
Yeah.
Now they're in Indianapolis.
That's right. 2-point game. Final 5 minutes, opening half.
Very, very loud in here. Stimulates the defense.
Brown. Pretty young team out there again for Jim Calhoun. Brown short with that long-range shot. Talik Brown got it back. Friedgen pushes it ahead. Huerta to Lakey. It's down the lane. They kick it back out to Smith. That's too strong. Friedgen, a great follow tip. Matt Friedgen with his 6-point. We are tied at 26.
Last possession, Denham Brown bounced the ball and went nowhere. That leads to disaster in the big time.
Robertson from long range, off the mark. Hazelton got it back and was fouled.
Great play by Scott, chasing that ball down. Robertson took a difficult shot, but one that he can make. Hazelton positioned himself well.
Hazelton, Okafor, the two Browns, and also Robertson all right now. And now we have another sub coming in.
Transition basketball right here. Lakey going in. The shot is challenged, but Friedgen there. Nobody blocked him out.
On the court now is Mike Hayes for the first time for UConn. Well, Jim Calhoun has used 11 guys already.
1-1-3 zone, which goes into a 2-3 matchup.
Here comes Talik Brown.
Nice.
That's too strong. Davis puts it back, no good. The rebound brought out of there by Shibashevsky. 3.5 to go. Pull-up jumper by Smith. Rejected, got it back, and that's an offensive foul. So Corey Smith will pick up his second foul.
A lot of physical activity in the last several possessions at both ends of the floor. Hayes doing his part for UConn.
The game is tied at 26 with 3 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the opening half. We've got a break. Big East basketball from Nashville, and you're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. It is 26-26. The Commodores have never had the lead. Jim Calhoun's team has been up by 6 points a couple of times, but they have come up empty on their last 5 shots.
A little cold for the 12th ranked team in the country. And I think their ranking is a testament to their program and Jim Calhoun's tenure there. They've been so good for so long. They do have big question marks at the forward spots.
Gordon has it tapped away, but Okafor puts up the jump shot. It goes, and he will go to the line.
We've seen a turnaround jump shot. Now we've seen a turnaround hook. The development of an offensive center. We're witnessing it here.
Well, Okafor had 16 in the opening game, the victory against Quinnipiac, and then against GW he had a 13-point game rather.
That's a tough shot right there, John. Learning that one is big.
He has 8 so far tonight. Bending good, make it 9.
You know, we think of Okafor as a mainstay, but the guy is only a sophomore. Same thing with Ben Gordon. As you mentioned, no seniors in the starting lineup. Robertson, the only senior that is a significant player on this team.
And they don't get the trap at the spot that they wanted. Lakey has it.
The
Shoot up
defense
a little off the clock, though. 3 minutes to go in the half.
Defense has gotten very much more aggressive after that timeout.
Lakey misses the three. It's tracked down in the corner by Denham Brown. There are 3 players on this Husky team named Brown. And all 3 of them have played so far tonight. Gordon along the baseline. There's the putback. The nice follow underneath by Okafor.
Trying to get a sense of where things are when his man went to help. Got to the right spot.
He's the first player in double figures tonight with 11. And a 5-0 run is ended right there by Jason Holwerda. His first basket, the sophomore from Chattanooga. 3-point lead. Talik Brown with it. Gordon. Skip it to Denham Brown. And he bombs away.
Boy, he has a great release, doesn't he, John?
Yes.
Nice bounce.
He has got 10 points already. So that guy that was scoring 30 points a game has shown up at least so far tonight.
Yeah, there's a reason a guy scores 30 points a game.
Travel before the shot.
Well, right now, I like what Hayes is doing. Terrell is an inside presence, and so is Thornton. And Hayes is Jim Calhoun's really only guy who could qualify as a 4-man at 6'8" and about 230. If he can develop into a solid defender and a rebounder inside, he doesn't even have to score to make a good contribution to this team.
Just go in and bang some bodies. Huh?
Absolutely.
This is Hayes with it. He is from Hartford, Connecticut. A 7-2 run right now for the Huskies. Okafor nestles in the net, looking for that offense. He's got 13 points in the first half.
And he's showing it various ways. Not the same move every time.
Stolen away that time, scrambled along the baseline, and a timeout called.
Great hustle on the part of the Huskies. Coming out of the last timeout, they became energized. I don't know what Calhoun said to him in there, but they have jumped out now to a 7-point lead. 8-point lead, excuse me.
And we invite you to stay with us at halftime. We're going to talk about one of the tough players in the Big East Conference, as Virginia Tech had a big win early on against Michigan. And the Big East Wire will also have the highlights and stats, so join us for that. We're going to take a look at the preseason All Big East team. That doesn't mean it's going to be the All Big East team when all is said and done, but preseason-wise, Okafor, we can give you a hint, is one of them, and he's not disappointing so far.
No, he really isn't. He's playing a great game tonight, and there are 6 players on that Big East first team. And lots of talented players. The beat goes on.
This is called Memorial Magic Night, kind of fan appreciation here. We're in Memorial Gym on the campus of Vanderbilt. I'm John Sanders along with Bob Wenzel. Happy to have you aboard. We head to the final minute, opening half, 7-point lead. That is the biggest of the half. The Commodores have never led. We've been tied a couple of times.
In case you were wondering, Vanderbilt undergraduates, about 6,000. Very competitive academic institution.
Saved by Hayes. Denham Brown spins it up and in. Another 3-pointer for Brown. He's got 13 points and has made 3 3-pointers in the first half. A 12-2 run. And all of a sudden, the Huskies have a double-digit lead. And that happened in a hurry, didn't it?
It really did. And Kevin Stallings, the coach of Vanderbilt, is saying, where did this guy come from? He only had a few points in their first 2 games. Should have looked at the exhibition game where he had 21.
Freegee tries to squeeze inside. And the foul is going to go on Hayes. Mike will pick up his first.
Right here, good convergence on the part of the blue jerseys. There was a screen set. Okafor and Hayes both got in there. Okafor blocked it. A little bump by Hayes when Freegee tried to step through.
He is 11 of 15 at the line, so he's a good shooter, the junior from Overland Park, Kansas.
You can say he's a good shooter. 74% from there, and also 54% from 3-point range. So this guy can knock him in.
But no 3-pointers in the first half for the Commodores. He misses number 2. Brown could not handle the rebound. The scramble tipped up once along the baseline, out of bounds, and the Commodores will keep it. Vandy wanted a foul call.
Well, the crowd certainly wanted a foul call. Justin Brown is not happy. Jim Calhoun is not happy with Justin Brown. He put him in for 1 play, and he didn't block out enough to get a rebound on the free throw line. Hilton Armstrong replaces it.
There's Thornton using that big body to get inside. Now has 7 points, the sophomore from Louisville.
He's a very important player for Vanderbilt. With Freegee being their main scorer, but preferring the outside, he's their main go-to guy in the paint.
Brown too strong. And that will do it for the first 20 minutes. Okafor, a terrific first half, 6 of 8. He had a couple of blocks. He had 5 rebounds. And he is stepping up, at least in the first half, in the third game of his sophomore season. It is Huskies who have the halftime lead. Teams are coming back on the court. We'll be back with more Big East basketball after this. Indiana.
And they also play Notre Dame.
They will open the SEC schedule on the 8th of January against Auburn. On the 11th, the Huskies will open their Big East schedule at home against Miami. The Commodores controlling inside to Thornton. Back outside. Smith steps down the lane, gets it back to Thornton. Lakey to Thornton. A little inside-outside action that finally pays off with a basket for Corey Smith. He's got 8 points.
John, the reason that paid off is after Thornton threw the ball back out, he reposted and backed Okafor closer to the basket.
That's what they're trying to do. The Commodores a little more inside-outside and getting to start Hayes in the second half. Okafor to the left hand. He has 15. He's shown us a little bit of everything.
Did you see that last year ever? I've never seen him take a shot like that. So comfortable with the left hand. That's a tough shot.
Well, he's a sophomore now.
Oh, man.
Nice feed inside and a foul called. The foul is going to go against Denham Brown. That'll be his second. So Mike Hayes getting the start here in the second half, along with Gordon, Brown, the other Brown. 2 Browns in the starting lineup with Okafor. And Okafor continues to show us some dazzling offense.
Well, he's got 15 points right here, and that is a tough shot. He was defended well and made that shot anyway. You can see his confidence brimming.
Freegee was 1 for 2 at the line in the opening half. Terrific shooter, as you can see, 8 points for the junior. No senior starters for either team, although here in the second half, Mike Hayes starting for the Huskies, and he is a senior.
And I think part of the reason he's starting is they need to get a physical player at that 4 spot, and he is it.
Knocked away from Gordon by Smith. The Huskies will have it as Jim Calhoun has a word with Andre Patillo.
Problem is you can't get on the officials, Jim, unless they're down at your end.
That's
the whole
right.
rest of the time, they can ignore you.
Good step through move by Brown. Gets his own rebound, has it stripped away. Thornton knocked away from him, but here comes Smith the other way. The alley-oop goes out of bounds harmlessly. A little too tall for Jason Holwerda. He's not that large, is he?
No. Stallings not happy. A little too tall. I like that. There was alley and no oop on that one.
That's right. Or not enough oop anyway. 40-35.
They are trying to go to him. This is fun to watch.
And he's delivering. Okafor again, that time made it look easy going over Freegee, and Okafor is just 2 points away from a career high.
Unbelievable. You know, in a game like this against a quality opponent on the road, you know, he stayed in the background when Caron Butler, now playing for the Miami Heat, was doing his thing, but he is really going to town.
Lakey with it. Shot clock at 15. Freegee has it tipped away from behind out of bounds, and it goes out of bounds. That might have saved him an offensive foul.
That's lazy defense on the part of Denham Brown. That's high school stuff,
Yeah,
where you let your guy go in front of you. That doesn't work at this level very much. Right here, nice post-up move. Good use of the dribble. Nice use of the backboard, knowing where he is.
And they have to go to Lakey as we come back to live action. 7-point lead, 2 minutes into the second half. Off the Freegee screen, Lakey throws it away and traveled. He was going to turn it over anyway, as the loose ball was picked up by Denham Brown. So the Huskies will have it.
Solid defense that time by UConn. Anytime Lakey gets to the paint, people come to help. Not as much substitution in the early going by either team. I think both coaches were trying to get a lot of players in the first half.
Gordon races in, tried the scoop shot, missed it. Freegee has the rebound.
What do you do when your leading scorer, Gordon, has 0 points? Do you keep playing him? You take him out? What do you do? Tough coaching situation right here for Jim Calhoun.
See who the foul is on. And the foul is on Denham Brown, so he picks up his third.
A sigh of relief coming from the bench of UConn that it was not Okafor.
Yeah. Thornton to the line now with 8 points. Brown is going to leave. So is Gordon. So that was the answer to your question. You take him out.
Yeah, you do, and temporarily, obviously. You know, he's not forcing, to his credit. But to UConn's credit, they have a guy like Robertson who they can put in, and he is a dynamic scorer.
Oh! On the run, they answer quickly. Emeka Okafor now has matched his career high with 19 points, and we are just 2.5 minutes into this second half.
He has done everything that you can do as an offensive post player in this game.
And therefore, the absence of scoring in from Gordon is kind of not a question. It's not a factor. Hawerda to Lakey.
When Thornton throws it back out, Okafor cannot let him establish position.
Okafor with a rebound of the miss that time by Thornton. Here comes Talik Brown. Backs away just a little bit. And we've got an offensive foul called on Hayes inside. He was locked up with a couple of people that time. One of them Freegee and the other Corey Smith, and he gets the call.
John, there's a teaching technique in coaching where you teach your post players to back into the defense, and that's been not called for many, many years, and that is a point of emphasis in the rules this year, and we've seen it called twice in this game, once for each team.
And Jim Calhoun had something to say about it as the basketball went back to the other end. So you can yell all you want from there. Nobody's going to hear you.
That's right.
Freegee gets inside. Jumper. Bending short. Rebound Hayes. Tony Robertson. Nice save to Okafor, who jams it home. A career high. 21 points.
Well, Stallings has got to be upset with his team right now. UConn is just running them down the floor, even on makes. A timeout now would be timely for Vanderbilt. They are not getting back on defense at all.
The lead has been stretched out to 9. Thornton, that's an offensive foul, and that's the third time that same thing has been called.
Exactly.
And it was obvious he was using his body backing in.
And right now, that is the frustration level that Okafor causes in the opposition. Right here, great fast break. Hazelton can't handle it, and Okafor beats everybody down the floor. They cannot run with him. Right here, a long pass, a good outlet. Guys looking up. 4 guys handle the ball with 1 dribble and a dunk.
Tools, who did not start the second half, is in there as Hayes goes to the bench. Hazelton on the perimeter. Malik Brown, Hazelton's three-pointer, bending short. Lakey starts back for the Commodores. Hawerda, a bad decision there. No place to go with that pass. Turns it over to the Huskies, and Talik Brown off the glass, bending good.
Vanderbilt needs a timeout right here. They've changed defense to try to stem the tide, but UConn still rushing the ball down, getting quick shots. This is how they like to play.
Freegee off the baseline jumper. Tip is good. Shibashevsky gets the follow shot. So the lead goes back to 9. Robertson got inside. Okafor has it. He'll put up a jumper. No good. And over the back. The foul is going to be called on Shaman Tools. That'll be his second.
Well, Tools' job is to do the dirty work, bang around on the offensive boards. Calhoun not too upset with a play like that. You like it when your guys are going to the offensive boards.
It is 15-19 remaining in the game. 9-point lead. Brown and the Huskies in control here in Nashville.
Air conditioning, V6 engine with automatic transmission, 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, side airbags.
Tuesday have the Huskies enjoying their Thanksgiving in Nashville, and coming up you can see the home schedule, which is dynamite, and the Wagner, UMass, UNC Asheville, Central Connecticut games all will be televised by ESPN+. And then on January 7th they make another road trip to Oklahoma.
That's a good stretch of home games there where they can get their record strong. That's why this game is so important. UMass will be a tough game always.
Freegee inside off the glass and good. Matt now with 11 points. 7-point lead. That was the halftime difference. Tools to Brown. Out there with Okafor, Hazelton, and Robertson right now for the Huskies, who have never trailed tonight. Robertson, bingo. That's a two-pointer. His second field goal, the senior from Providence.
He has been silent pretty much all night. Hasn't really even taken a lot of shots. That one looked good.
Rigi gets inside and bangs it home.
Too tall for Shimon Tools. Right now they have David in there as well as Frigi. And Frigi taking Tools inside the last two possessions. There will be some substitutions here. Hilton Armstrong ready to check in. He's bigger.
Robertson inside, into the lane, hangs, bending, no good. Just trickled off the side of the rim, and these are very soft rims here. In other words, they're very receptive. And if you look at them, they're different. The way they're set up with the long arc that comes out, and
they have several things that are unusual about this court. Number one, the benches are on the end line, but also the shot clock and the timer is not on the top of the backboard where it's supposed to be by rule. It is set back, as you're mentioning. That's because there are cables. You can see how that is way, way back. It's supposed to be on top of the backboard. But because those cables that hold these backboards to the ceiling are there, cannot be put there.
One out of two for Tony Robertson. He has 5 points. 51-43. Here's Moore, the freshman on the run, lays it up and in. First basket for Mario Moore. And right back come the Huskies. That's one of their trademarks, has been for years. And the net is hung up. And so there's a good guy to bring it down. Shibashevsky just reaches up and takes care of the problem.
How many Polish guys does it take to fix a net?
One.
Okay.
When he's 7'1". I usually jump up and hope I could touch the net. Here's Gordon. He has been very quiet, and he turns it over. Ben Gordon still has not scored a point.
So far, not showing frustration. This is a pretty solid move here. His feet just slide a tad. Andre Patillo on that call.
The lead is 7. Vandy has turned it over 12 times, and the Huskies have taken advantage. Done a better job of converting those turnovers into points. Moore gets inside, finds Smith. Frigi for three. Rattles it home, and the streak continues. That is their first three-pointer of the night. So they will not be blank in this game.
508 straight games. How about that?
Ever since the rule went into effect, Robertson got inside, did not get the roll, and it'll be Vandy basketball. And all of a sudden, just as they were midway through the first half, the crowd is into it. The Huskies had the answer in the first half. Let's see how they handle this one.
And this is not an easy place to play. Solid screening on the part of Vanderbilt leads to a wide open J by Frigi. That's his first good look from three-point range. Mike should switch the next time they run that.
51-48. A 5-0 run by the Commodores. Frigi has been a big part of it. He has 9 points here in the second half. Moore gets it inside. Shibashevsky back to Moore. Again, that inside-outside action. He has it stripped away. Okafor to Robertson. Has Linky to beat, and Linky strips it out of bounds.
Great hands on the part of the little point guard. 2 point guards in the game right now for Kevin Stallings, paying dividends. Got his hand on it as Robertson went by him. Robertson's a tough guy to catch. Gets his hand on it, preventing a layup. Extended zone defense. The seams will be open on passes inside.
Hayes has checked back in for the Huskies. Malik Brown handles it. Robertson, shot clock at 11. Now Gordon to the 3 guards on the court. Gordon inside, bending off, tipped up, no good. Shibashevsky pulls down the rebound.
Zone's been effective, John, the last several possessions. Gordon has been off balance. They've forgotten about Okafor.
Well, they better not. He's got 21 points, a career high. Shibashevsky against Okafor. Jump hook, good. 7 points for David Shibashevsky. 1-point game. 7-0 run by Vandy and a timeout called by the Huskies. They're on their feet at Memorial Gym. Memorial Gym, it's 51-50. The Huskies called a timeout. Commodores have been on the run. Here comes Talik Brown inside, bending, no good, tipped up and in. And I believe Talik will get credit for the basket. That'll give him 10 points.
Vandy trying to become a team with more balance. Last year, just a three-point shooting team. Scoring in the paint, a priority for them.
And they have done a much better job of it so far tonight. But they did continue their string of consecutive games with three-pointers. Smith for three. Short. Gordon tries to get around and get in on Adam Payton, and he picks up the foul. That'll be his first. Adam Payton knows something about the Big East. He should. His dad played at Syracuse.
That's right. From Burlington, New Jersey.
And we have a timeout with 11:02 to play. 53-50 is our score. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. 2 seconds to play. Along with Bob Wenzel, I'm John Sanders here in Nashville. The Commodores making a run, and there's what you were talking about, the difference in them definitely trying to go inside this year.
Yeah, 46 in the first two games, only 30 tonight, so Connecticut doing a good job of defending the paint so far in this game. Pretty good. Big thing, Denham Brown has not scored. He had 13 at halftime, has taken one shot and missed in this half.
And Ben Gordon still has not scored a point. Hayes getting a lot of minutes in the game tonight. Here comes Gordon to the baseline, up and under, spins it up, no good. Rebound to Payton. You get the feeling that if Ben could make one basket, he might get going, you know?
I think that's what he's feeling, I'll tell you that. But
Smith, turn around off the glass and good. Rattles it home. Might have used his body a little bit that time to free himself.
Denham Brown backed off him right there, didn't need to.
A 1-point game again. The last tie we had was 26-26. Talik with a feed to Okafor, no basket. The foul comes before. Goes on Smith, his third.
Look at Vanderbilt in the second half. They're shooting over 70% in the second half, only 44%. So that's a big reason that they are back in this game big time, mainly due to Matt Friedge. He's really been very, very solid the last several minutes.
He has had 9 points here in the second half. We have 10-10 to play in the game.
The zone, John, has been effective.
Three-pointer too strong. That's right.
From three-point range. We're going to stay down here. I believe it's on Friedge.
It is on Friedge. Matt will pick up his first foul. And you have to compliment the job that Mike Hayes has done, just using his body going inside and tying up people, and that time he got the call.
And that's what he should do. If you can't make three-point shots, then you're going to attack the glass as much as possible. Both guys were tied up. I think the proper call was made. That's what Hayes should be, a rough and tumble Charles Oakley type.
And a beautiful steal that time by Moore, who scores. So Moore has scored, and Vandy has its first lead of the night. Another steal by Moore. A little too fancy that time, but the follow no good, and a rebound Okafor. 3-on-2. Talik Brown inside, and a foul call. Commodores wanted the travel instead to Russell Lakey. But what a lift from Moore.
A weak pass on the inbounds, and Moore pushes it ahead, and he is quick on quick. You are not going to catch him. Robertson made a good effort, then a careless pass. This time tries to shield the ball and makes it a more difficult shot than it had to be.
Brown at the line ties the game. 11 points for the junior from Queens.
UConn has gone through a scoring drought as Smith goes to the bench, given very, very fine effort. And part of the reason is their perimeter shooting is non-existent right now. and they have not been able to find Emeka Okafor in the paint as they were doing against man-to-man.
A pair at the line for Talik Brown. The Huskies seesaw back on top. We are past the midway point of the second half. 55-54 Connecticut.
Hayes guarding Frigie away from the ball.
This is Hundley.
Hundley's got experience.
Shibashevsky. And that is blocked. Emeka Okafor gets the block. UConn with numbers, a strip and a foul called. And that will go on Scott Hundley.
Emeka Okafor at his best on the defensive end. Uses the left hand to get the block, and Connecticut wants the transition, and they get it. Hazelton gets an opportunity at the free throw line.
When you use that offhand like that, you can avoid picking up a lot of fouls, and good shot blockers oftentimes use the offhand, don't they?
And that's why Bill Russell was so great. He was a left-handed player. Okafor has done that since his very first game. Look at his blocks. Last year, a school record as a freshman. This year, 14 in 3 games. Guy has a knack.
1 out of 2 for Scott Hazelton. 3 points for him in the game, and the lead is 2. It's 56-54. The Huskies on top.
The best thing Hazelton does is run.
Here comes Moore on the run up and blocked, and that will go.
Very unpopular calls, an offensive charge right here. Okafor also had the block.
Yes, but the foul called Moore.
A little out of control, and Hayes does a good job, the dirty work like we mentioned before.
Well, I'll tell you what, this freshman, Mario Moore, has sparked this comeback by Vanderbilt.
He's a quick guy, he lends energy.
Frigie not in the lineup right now for Vandy.
There's no outside shooting in the game at all for UConn.
Now Okafor to Hayes along the baseline, and that's an offensive foul on him.
Andre Patillo made both calls. A charge at one end and a charge at the other end. I like what Hayes is doing right here. This was a nifty pass, a high-low kind of action. Okafor gets a nice little bounce pass inside. Hayes should have taken a little jumper instead of gone to the hoop.
Shibashevsky bending no good, and there's Hayes snatching the rebound. Talik Brown, look how he keeps his head up, keeps those eyes focused. Three-pointer is good. Just when the Huskies need it. Tony Robertson delivers the 3. The lead goes to 5.
And that is experience, John. He got a clean look. That's his first clean look the whole night. His other 3 that he made was off the dribble.
Vandy with just 1 3-pointer in the game tonight. That's an air ball, and it's saved that time by Hayes.
Hayes is playing great.
Hazelton blocked and out of bounds.
John, Hazelton can fill the lane. He gets down the floor quickly.
But a big 3-pointer, the first of the night for Tony Robinson. And the Huskies trying to regain control, leading by 5. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. 54 with 7:49 to play. And let's talk a little bit about Mike Hayes. He has not scored a point, but he has been a factor in this game.
Absolute factor. Defensively on Frigie, he's done a great job. All the hustle plays, takes the charge, gets rebounds. He is establishing himself. They have 4 or 5 forwards. Maybe it'll be a different guy every night, but so far tonight, he's done the best job.
He certainly has. He has played very well.
Just what UConn needs, a banger on the inside. He's got to make a layup or 2 against this zone. Zone's been very effective. You can see how extended it gets. Only guy who can make a 3 in the game right now is Robertson.
Hazelton has it. They skip it to Robertson. He almost stepped out of bounds. Good save
pass
there by Tony Robertson. Off the dribble. 3-pointer. Talik Brown off the mark. Tracked down by Frigie, who checks back in for the Commodores as they try to make one final push. And there comes the basket from Corey Smith. He's got a dozen. 3-point game, just over 7 minutes remaining. Vanderbilt hoping to improve from an NIT team to an NCAA team this year. Here's Robertson. Gets it back to Talik Brown. Still 15 on the shot clock. Now 10. Brown dances down the lane, leans in, does not get the roll, goes out of bounds. The Huskies could not control the rebound. And Gordon checks back in. It has been a struggling night for the sophomore from Mount Vernon, New York. Back to the bench.
Well, it's a tough situation because he's one of your main guys and he's not really having a good game. He's back in the game right now. Sometimes a guy like him has the confidence. He doesn't do well all game and makes good plays at the end.
Well, you made a good point as Freegee puts up the shot and misses, but right there to knock it home is Thornton. He's got 11. It's been 10 minutes since Emeka Okafor has scored a point.
And that's really barely bad. I mean, he was doing great, and I think the zone is what has done it. They are in man-to-man right now. They should go to Okafor. He's got to get a touch on every offensive possession.
The foul goes against Corey Smith, and I've got 4 on him. Well, that could be a problem with Corey Smith, the sophomore, in some foul trouble.
Watch how Okafor comes over. Hayes has him. He shouldn't even come over and try to block this. He leaves his man, and then as a result, an easy basket. Okafor should have stayed home on that one.
Talik Brown, 3 of 4 so far at the line. Hayes kept it alive. Gordon slips, keeps his dribble.
I thought Robertson should have shot that one. He was open. Nice play by Hayes to retain possession for UConn.
We're inside the 6-minute mark. Huskies by a point. And an offensive foul.
Vanderbilt is a solid defensive team, not only in man-to-man, but also in their matchup zone. And the zone has been more effective against the Huskies than man-to-man.
And the turnovers,
man-to-man, they've been able to get it to Okafor.
The turnovers are evening out. Forward up. Started by Robertson. Tried to go down low, and it was kicked. The Huskies trying to come up with a steal, leading by a point with 5:35 to play. Fresh 35 now on the clock for the Commodores.
John, 3 guards in the game. Normally that's a good thing for Jim Calhoun because Gordon is difficult to guard, but Gordon has to guard Corey Smith, who's 6'5".
Beautiful steal that time by Brown. He beats Lakey and gets the basket. So Talik with 14 points.
He looks in good shape. He's a guy out here who's done a lot of running up and down the floor, pushing the ball, and he looks very strong. See, they're trying to go to Smith inside against Gordon.
Smith gets it back. Lakey for 3. Too strong. And there comes Robertson.
Good hustle. Robertson is senior. He had a great end of season last year. In the regional, the NCAA regional, he made the all-regional team. Had 18 against Maryland.
And the 3-guard offense, so important to Jim Calhoun and the Huskies. We haven't seen as much of it. Now they go inside. Hayes has it blocked, gets it back and scores. Mike Hayes with his first basket of the night, and it comes at a great time for UConn.
The praises for Hayes are coming from us right here because of plays like that, but also his hustle plays. He's done a good job on Freegee as well.
Smith with it. Lakey. It's going to be one of those offensive fouls called against Brian Deuce Thornton, and he wears number 2, does Deuce. He is a crowd favorite here at Memorial Gym.
Hayes has fatigue right now. He's asking to come out. He motioned the bench.
I think he is going to come out because checking into the lineup is Hilton Armstrong.
Now, Hayes better not stay out long with 4:22 to go. He's done a fine job. You ought to get a quick blow and get right back in. Hilton Armstrong, a very inexperienced player, although talented, hasn't been in this situation as a college player yet.
The lead has been as many as 11 for the Huskies in the second half. Vandy had a brief 1-point lead, and now it's a 5-point edge for UConn. Robertson pulls up for the jumper. Good.
Experience. Robertson made a key play at the other end by coming up with the rebound, and now the pull-up jumper under control in the lane. The medium game.
He's got 10. 65-58 Huskies. Lakey inside to Smith.
Advantage Smith on Gordon.
And it'll be a two-shot foul. It's going to go on Tony Robertson. Well, I've got 4 on my card.
He came over to try to help out on Gordon. And right now, Denham Brown is going to come in. Unfortunately, Robertson's the one who's playing the best right now.
Gordon, and he's the one that runs into foul trouble.
Yep.
13 points for Corey Smith. He is still perfect at the free throw line this year. Gordon sits now as Denham Brown comes back in. So he did not come in for Robertson.
Came in for Gordon. So Robertson, Jim Calhoun has confidence that with 4 fouls, Robertson will not do anything foolish. And you can trust a senior with all the experience Robertson has to do that.
Almost the first miss of the year, but that's 14 points for him. Takes us to a timeout with a 5-point lead for Robertson, keeping the Huskies in front. 65-60 they lead. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. (65-60), 3:45 to play. Emeka Okafor, a career-high 21 points, but it's been 13 minutes since he scored a basket.
And the zone has been effective in limiting his touches. Right now, a serious situation right here. Denham Brown, a freshman, Hilton Armstrong, a freshman, both in the game.
And it's Denham Brown short with a shot. Gordon with it. And Ben still has not scored a point tonight.
Robertson with 4 on the bench. Hayes took himself out for fatigue. Both of those players need to get back in the game, I think.
Robertson playing with 4 fouls. It is kicked. Belongs to Connecticut with 3:13 to play, and they'll get a fresh 35 on the shot clock. 65-60.
One of the stories of this game, as you mentioned, is Okafor and his career high. Gordon is the other story, and his lack of scoring in this game. Denham Brown has no points in the second half, at 13 at halftime.
Good pass, though, inside to Okafor. Held ball. Possession arrow will keep it at this end.
That is not a good pass. You know, he threw it at his ankles. He really wasn't open for anything. They're trying to get him the ball, but he's being defended well.
22 on the shot clock, exactly 3 minutes remaining in the game. In the conversation, Jim Calhoun.
With Timmy Higgins, who he knows quite well, obviously. Timmy told me he loves this venue, but the coaches are so far away from him.
You don't have to see him quite as often, do you?
He can pretend he can't hear him.
Okafor outside, and he buries it.
Finally.
His first basket since the 16:33 mark as he adds to his career numbers, stretches the lead back to 7. He has 23 points tonight. First 20-plus point game of his career.
Fantastic, and he's going to have a lot of them now that Caron Butler is gone. He will be taking up the scoring slack in the paint.
The foul is on Hilton Armstrong. It's 67-60 here with 2:31 to play. Vandy battled all the way back. Gordon, no points. Okafor, you see 11 of 15. And Vandy just 1 3-pointer in the game. It has been Freegee with a strong second half, although he's been quiet the last 5 minutes or so.
He's a good player, though. He's solid. He gets him in a lot of different ways.
He has 17 points. He's averaging 18 a game and a chance to match that.
I wonder when Robertson's going back in the game, because Gordon really hasn't done a lot, as we've shown, with 0 points. Freegee doing a good job as usual for Vandy.
Robertson set to come back in. Here he comes.
Well, this is the play, really, even with 4
fouls. He's going to replace Denham Brown.
Okay, they played well with the 3 guards in there for a long period of time, even though Gordon didn't do a lot. They handled the ball better with him in there.
A pair at the line cuts the lead to 5 at 67-62. 2:31 remaining here in Vanderbilt.
Well, they build this as magical night. There have been a lot of magical wins in this building. As we mentioned early in the broadcast, they are 54-2 in non-conference games in this building that seats 14,000, and all of those seats are filled right here. There's the stat that we talked about. And not only 54-2, but they've won 16 straight non-conference wins. However, among those is not a win against Connecticut.
Well, Connecticut just playing them for the second time. They met last year. UConn won that matchup. The last time Jim Calhoun had a team without a senior starter was 5 years ago, 97-98. That team went 32-5 and made it to the Elite Eight.
Not bad. Khalid El-Amin, Rip Hamilton, that group, Kevin Freeman.
And you consider the players that have come and gone quickly, Karan Butler being one, Khalid El-Amin. It's amazing the job that Jim Calhoun and Connecticut has done. Gordon inside, his first basket.
Oh boy, what a time to get it.
A big basket stretches the lead back to 7.
John, that's something that haven't run the whole game. A little weave action near the end of the game. Part of the reason you use 3 guards.
3G for free, that's short. The rebound, Okafor. Still just 1 3-pointer for Vandy in the game.
Very rarely does Okafor get the ball stripped when he gets a rebound. Protects it very, very well.
He keeps it up high.
This is where you want 3 guards.
Okafor is fouled. A little push that time by Shibashevsky, and that is David's first foul. Moore is back on the court for Vandy. He was the one that led the charge as Vandy came from behind and took a brief lead.
He did, and he did it with defense. Several steals in a row. Good penetration on his part. A freshman, has a good career coming up for the Commodores. This guy's played great. 23 points.
He's having a nice night, isn't he?
He really is. Shot looks good. His confidence is up.
He needs 1 more rebound for a double-double. He has 9.
John, the thing about being substituted, if your coach substitutes for you, you're at the other end. You got a long run just to get to the bench.
And you're trying to get a rest, and you're tired when you get there. More tired than you were when you got the call to get out. And an air ball.
Hayes is back in. The Charles Oakley of the Connecticut Huskies.
Well, we have to give him a lot of credit if UConn goes on and wins. They're up by 8 with a minute and 41 to go. And you see Vandy has done a good job with more opportunities at the line.
And they have made them good free throw shooting team.
But Okafor's been the story for Connecticut.
Nice challenge by Hayes.
Too strong. Rebound by Talik Brown.
He is a physical point guard. I think point guards should get a lot of rebounds because their man is not going to the offensive boards.
Well, Brandon Knight is one, for example, who does get a lot of rebounds.
Good example.
Oh, beautiful move that time by Gordon. He's not been able to make anything outside, so he's gone inside. 10-point lead.
Gordon has come alive. We talked about how he's got no points at the end game situation, helping to seal it.
Smith hanging and hitting. And Corey Smith has been outstanding. He has a career-high 16 points, and the timeout comes with exactly 1 minute to go. The lead is down to 8. But let's give UConn some credit here. Thanks to Robertson, some great plays that he made at a critical point in this ball game. Even though he wound up picking up his 4th foul, they withstood the pressure, the noise of the 14,000, and a brief 1-point lead for Vandy.
Absolutely, and that's what you want. You come to a place like this, a hostile environment, a tough SEC deal, and you come out, hopefully, with a victory.
Let's take a look at our BMW ultimate drive of the game.
And he hasn't had many in this game, but in the end game situation, Ben Gordon comes up big time. They're teasing him a little bit with the 3 guards. He comes in, uses his body, uses the glass to protect it. The ultimate drive of the game, BMW ultimate drive of the game. The ultimate tanning machine with one of those pullback tops.
For a team that lived and died by the 3-pointer over the last few years, Vandy, they are shooting 9%.
And that you got to credit the defense of UConn. I mean, they really get after it on the perimeter. They know that's the case.
Hayes to Gordon. They had numbers. Gordon backs it out. Final minute. Lakey goes for a steal. It's over and back.
Gordon was a little too casual with the basketball there. I'm not sure of the call. But with 52 seconds, this game is certainly not over yet. And take a look at from up top. A little casual. You shouldn't stop right after you cross the 10-second line. The ball is hit. I don't think that's over and back. He didn't have possession.
Well, it looks like that's what they called. Lakey for 3. Off the mark. Shibashevsky the rebound. Fade away, blocked partially by Okafor. Did they call a foul on the Emeka Okafor?
Yes.
Yes, they did. That'll be his third. Thought he had all ball.
A guy who plays and patrols the paint like he does and doesn't get in foul trouble is very, very important for this team.
Those guys are hard to find, too.
They are hard to find. Right here, David is fading away and clearly gets him on the arm.
Yeah, he did. Trubishevsky at the line. Gets the roll. Or the bounce. Those soft rims they have here.
That's right.
George Blaney saying he'd love to have played in this gym.
Well, George was a very, very good shooter. Assistant coach here was the head coach at Holy Cross and Seton Hall and played for the Knicks.
Missed, but a rebound at the offensive end won't go. Finally, Okafor comes out of there and a foul called quickly that time on Alwerda. It is Jason's third.
Missed opportunity by Vandy right there. They did a good job to get the ball back on the missed free throw. But the foul will at least stop the clock, which is what you want to do when you're behind by 7 with 35 seconds to go.
Well, Vandy coming off a 10 for 16 three-point shooting night against Georgia Southern. 1 for 12 tonight. They really haven't had that many attempts, to tell you the truth.
No, they really haven't. And,
You know,
and why is that? Because Connecticut's playing good defense. Georgia Southern doesn't have these kind of players up on you. Good game tonight by Tony Robertson. 10 points, but they were crucial kind of points that came at a time when his teammates were struggling. He came up big.
Well, 4 of the Huskies in double figures. Denham Brown had all 13 of his in the first half. Emeka Okafor, a career high 24. Talik Brown with 14, and Tony Robertson now has 11.
Talik Brown was solid throughout. Did a good job leading the team, finding the right people, and pushing it on the break.
And
he really pushes it.
Tony Robertson with 10 points in the second half. He has been a key to Vandy holding its head, keeping its lead. Lakey gets inside and gets the roll. That's his first basket. And they take the timeout with 28.6 to play. 7-point lead at 74-67. But if the Huskies can finish this one off, it is, as you said, a big win for them on the road in a hostile building that's near sellout 14,000.
Absolutely. And this team went to the NIT last year, the Vanderbilt Commodores, and they have designs on the NCAA tournament this year. The Southeastern Conference, very, very strong with Florida and Kentucky and Georgia, and Alabama especially is outstanding. 12 teams in the league. 9 of them went to postseason last year, so very similar to the Big East.
Well, Vandy used to playing ranked teams. They played something like 19 ranked teams a year ago. So.
That's right. So they play in a tough league, so this is a very good situation for UConn. And you got to think of UConn, really, you know, they have some experience, but really Robertson is the only senior. Talik Brown, multitude of experience because having started, this is his 3rd year. But Gordon and Okafor, only sophomores. Bad pass.
And a steal. Frigia keeps it alive. Lakey kicks it off to Payton. Three-pointer is good. Just a second tonight, and it's a 4-point game with 20.9 to play. Bad decision on the inbounds pass that time by the Huskies.
Well, what you have is you have 3 guards that are lined up, but you got your 4-man taking the ball out of bounds. Hayes is not a good passer. Watch this. This killed 3 pigeons on the way out there. That is a high lofting play. That's what you do not want to do. Throw a long lob pass against pressure defense. Vandy takes advantage, gets the 3-point shot, gets it down to 4 with 20 seconds. This is not over. I suspect that Hayes will not take the ball out of bounds on this situation.
But whoever inbounds it has to get a little help from those guards. They've got to do something. They can't just stand there. They've got to move, right?
You ought to have a good passer taking the ball out of bounds in a pressure situation. Of course, they need to move. A screen can be set. You don't want to just kind of lob the ball in there. You also want to make sure in this situation that you inbound it to a player who can make free throws, because he is likely going to be fouled as soon as he touches the ball.
Well, that would be Talik Brown or Tony Robertson. Be 2 good choices. And, of course, Gordon is also a good shooter.
But I don't think your 4-man should be taking the ball out of bounds in clutch situations like this. For all the good that Hayes does as a power forward and a garbage kind of blue-collar worker, they need somebody who is skillful taking the ball out of bounds.
Well, Denham Brown has come on to replace him. and he will handle the inbounds pass.
Well, he is skillful, but only a freshman in a tough situation, being pressured by a 6'9" player.
And there's a little bit of a screen. Timeout called.
Difficulty in executing. Jim's saying he was wide open. Why didn't he throw him the ball?
Well, they did try a little bit of a screen that time with the guards crossing over, but he wasn't quick enough.
There was a switch.
Yeah.
There was a switch. What happens in situations like this, John, when you set a screen, the switching is the best thing you can do. Now you want to maybe look for a long pass right here. Denham Brown is going to inbound the basketball. Keep your vision on the other players. There will be screen set, a screen across the middle, but see how they switch? So they maintain the pressure. Now look long. There's nobody long. They can throw that pass. It's available.
I'll tell you what, if Okafor that time had broken toward midcourt, he'd have been wide open and there'd been nobody even close to him.
Exactly. So lots of different things. A third player now inbounding the ball. Okafor taking the ball out of bounds. There's the long pass. It's available.
But they go instead to Talik Brown. He's fouled. Fouled immediately that time by Hundley.
Well, Vanderbilt doing a good job in their press, creating turnovers and hitting threes, forcing timeouts. And these are things that you work on, both from the defensive and the offensive situations. Inexperience on the part of the inbounder for Connecticut has hurt them in these situations. Talik Brown,
3 of 5 at the line tonight. But again, he's your point guard. He's the guy that's going to be shooting free throws in exactly these situations.
Precisely. 9 for 11 on the season so far. A lot of iron, but it's good.
Rimmed it home. Those are those soft irons, the soft rims they have here. Smith is checked back in.
Well, it's a 2-possession game for Vanderbilt. They are down because it's a 5-point lead at least, perhaps a 6-point lead. Situation like this, the 3 guards are good because they should be able to contain pressure.
One of 2. Clock come the Commodores in the final 15 seconds. Freegee outside, forces a long one, off the mark. Scramble for the loose ball. Huskies have it, foul called.
Solid defense on the part of UConn that time, even on the miss. Freegee had to take a very forced 3-point shot in that situation. That's what you want.
The foul was on Shipashevsky. It is a double-double for Emeka Okafor. He now has 10 rebounds, 24 points, and 3 blocks.
He's had an outstanding game. And you expect a guy who is thought of as a Wooden candidate. The Wooden list is a list of the top 50 players in America at the end of the season. It's emblematic of the best player. And certainly, he is Connecticut's guy on that list this year.
And he has made 3 of 4 at the line and now has 25 points in the game. .9 to play. And the Huskies have certainly been tested here in Memorial Gym in Nashville, Tennessee. But thanks to Okafor, they've had the answers. Here's Smith. 3-pointer on the way, no good. And that does it. 76-70 will be the final. It was a 7-point difference at halftime. 2 teams played basically even in the second half. Vandy made its run, sparked by the freshman Mario Moore. They actually had a 1-point lead, but Connecticut holds on to win it.